Hello, everybody. This is Virginia Miller coming to you for the DeKalb County Library System. And we're going to make a bracelet today using a couple of different kinds of spirals. I've used, anybody who follows me at all knows that I love spirals. And I've used a Greek square geometric shape spiral before, and I wanted to incorporate it into a bracelet because I just think it's one of really one of the prettiest things. And we made a bracelet with before, and it was most of the bracelet. So I wanted to incorporate this with another spiral, a round spiral. So we'll have a square geometric shape and a round spiral link to go with it. And I got these wonderful Greek beads in from Mykonos. And they are so neat. They're all hand painted. Oh, you can't see them up here, but you'll be able to see them down on the mat. They're all hand painted and they're just gorgeous. They're cubes. And so we're going to be using those cubes for the beads. We're also going to be using 20 gauge wire, your usual pliers, your round nose pliers. I don't have everything all lined up like I should. Your round nose pliers, the barrels are round all the way around, and they taper smaller from the hilt to the tip. We have our square nose pliers, which are slightly rounded on the outside and completely flat on the inside. That will help us create a square shape. And we have our wire cutters that cut the wire. We're also going to be using a ruler to measure everything out. That's all you need. I'm using the square beads, but you don't have to use square beads. That's just what I'm using. But and you can also, I had some square crystals. I might make another one and show a picture of that you can use that are cubes as well. It doesn't have to be these fancy Greek beads. It can be any cubes. It could be round beads. It could be whatever beads that you like. But the beads that I'm using are about, let's see, these I believe are 8mm squares. Let's see here. They are 6mm. I thought they were bigger than that. So 6mm, they look bigger than that, probably because they're squares. I think it's closer to 7. I can look on my invoice. But yeah, these are 7mm. 7mm squares. And whatever size you use will determine how many links you make, obviously. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started because I am eager to get going on this and see our finished product. Okay, here are the beautiful hand painted beads that I was telling you that I got from Greece. It took a while because it's really interesting when I get things from other places. What you have to do to get them, but these came pretty quickly because they're already in the country, and then you have to order them, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So these are the beads. They're hand painted. We're supporting a family, actually, so it's really nice. I love being able to do things like that. And again, these are 7mm squares. And what we're going to do is make a Greek geometric spiral to go with our Greek beads. What could be more fitting? So the first thing that I need is 6 inches of wire to make my geometric spiral. And it depends on the size link that you want. 6 inches of wire will make a link that's 3/4 of an inch long. So that's what I'm doing. You can go bigger, you can go smaller. It's entirely up to you, but that's my size. I'm going with a link that's 3/4 of an inch long, and that requires 6 inches of wire. So what I'm going to do is find the center of my wire and grab it with my pliers. I'm going to slide my pliers down about halfway. My wire. I'm going to slide it about halfway down my pliers because I'm going to make a little keyhole loop. So what I'm going to do is fold my wire over that one barrel of my pliers. I'm checking as I go to make sure it looks like both sides are the same length. And it looks like this one's a little shorter. So I'm going to take away some of the wire from the other side. And to do that, I might need my pliers. I'm going to put that in there and just over on the side that's longer, I'm going to pull this wire so that I can get rid of some of the length on the other side and make this side a little longer. So this is the long side. I put my pliers over on that side, and I'm going to pull some of the wire away from that side so that I can get these even. Okay, so let's do that. Let's fix that. Make sure it's nice and as even as I can get it. That's pretty good. Yeah. So now I've got my wire right here in the middle of my pliers, and I'm going to squeeze it right under the pliers with my fingers. Just squeeze that. Squeeze the two sides together and kind of rotate it a little bit to make my little keyhole. And then because my fingers are only so strong, I'm going to take my other pliers, my flat pliers, and I'm going to squeeze the sides together nice and tight. So now you can see I have a little keyhole loop. And it's a little overlapping, so I'm going to go ahead and fix that with my pliers here. So now there's my little keyhole. Yeah. The next thing I'm going to do is slide on one of my beads. Let's see. I'm going to go with the blue one. And I'm going to slide that over my wires. Let me fill the water here. I have a tendency to lose my voice when I'm doing these tutorials. I don't know if I'm just not speaking from my diaphragm or whatever it is. There we go. That's good. Okay, so I've slid my bead over my two ends of my wire. And now I'm going to make a little loop, because what I need to do is bring the wire over the top of my pliers from the loop. So what I need is about 3/4 of an inch from the top of my loop to the bead. I told you you'd be using this ruler a lot. Or actually, I need 7/8 of an inch. Now, the way I know how much I need is I measure the top of my bead from the side of the loop to the side that my wire is going down. And that's approximately 1/8 of an inch from the opening here, the drill point, to the end of my bead is about 1/8 of an inch. Then I measure down the side of my bead, and that's about 1/4 of an inch. And I need enough to make a little hook down here. And I'm telling you all of this ahead of time. You'll see what I mean before. Right now, you're probably sitting there scratching your head and going, what is she talking about? That you'll be able to see in a minute. But I need 7/8 of an inch. I'm going to measure that. 7/8 of an inch from the top of my loop to my bead. So I'm going to hold that there. And I'm going to put a little bend in my wire, just like that. So now I'm going to bring this over the top of my bead. I'm just going to bend it over. Bend it right over my bead. like so. So that's what I have now. Just a little hook with a keyhole on it. And then I'm going to squeeze this until the little loop is touching my wires here. I'm just going to squeeze it. And then I'm going to bring my pliers in to squeeze this part down that's above the loop. Just squeeze that down. So this is what I have now. It's nicely encased in there. Nice. So now I'm going to make my little spiral. Now I make mine deliberately asymmetrical because it's almost impossible to get these little guys to match up exactly. So I don't even try. I just make them deliberately asymmetrical. If the ends aren't exactly the same, it's not a big deal. As long as it's not more than a fraction of an inch, you're good. But what I want to do is bring in my square pliers here. And I'm going to make a square link, a square spiral going out to the sides with each of my little tails of wire here. So I'm going to grab the tip of my wire with the tip of my pliers, just like that. I don't want anything sticking out the side here, out the back. So then I'm going to make a nice bend in my wire just over to the side like this. Okay. Then I'm going to, there. Then I'm going to go back here to the back of my wire again and make another bend right there on that tip, just like I did the first one. There we go. And then let's straighten that out a little more. There. And then I'm going to go back to the back again and make another bend. And so now I have a little box, a little square. Then I'm going to take my square pliers and I'm going to hold on to the flat part of my little square loop that I made here. I call it my face, the face of my wire. Just a little bit, a tiny little bit of the wire is peeking out here at the bottom. So there's my square. I'm going to clamp onto that, just a tiny bit sticking out here. And don't worry too much about clamping on, like I say, because this is very freeform and it's supposed to be a little rough looking. It's not supposed to be a perfectly beautiful, smooth piece. It's supposed to be a little bit more natural looking. So I've got my wire encased. I'm going to bend the long strand down over my pliers. And we're trying to make a square, but I find if I bend it down and then across, I get a stronger square shape. Otherwise, it's a lot more rounded. I know it doesn't seem to make much sense, but it works. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and grasp my square again. Again, I have the long tail of wire facing me. I'm going to bend my wire down and then out towards the tip of my pliers. Okay, keep that maneuvered there. And I'm going to do that again. Make any adjustments that you need to make. Again, a little bit is peeking out at the bottom here. Bend and bend. Let's do it again. And I'm going to keep doing this until it's right up here at my little loop. And I just make any adjustments as I go along. I want the wire to hug along the side here. I'm going to bring this down a little bit closer. Okay, and I'm going to bend again and then out towards the tip of my pliers. And this is going to get in the way. What you can do if you want is bend it out to the side so that it's not too much in the way. So bend again down and towards the tip of my pliers. And when it gets to where it's starting to bump against your bead, just scoot it back and just hold on to it with the front part of your pliers. Okay, I'm going to do that one more time. I think that's all I can manage. Actually, I think I'm going to stop here and then see where my other one goes and see if I need another bend. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing again on this side. Make my first square on the tip of my pliers with the tip of my wire, and I'm bending it out in the opposite direction of this one. So I'm going to bend that until I have a little squared off piece here. And then I'm going to grab the back of my wire right there on the inside under the short bend that I just did. Okay, put another bend in. Oh, I'm off camera. I'm so sorry. There. Put another bend in there. And just that a little bit so it's a little straighter. And then another bend. And adjust it so it's a little more square. There we go. And then I'm going to start on the face. I'm going to hold on to my the flat part of my wire, little tiny bit sticking out right here. When I say a tiny bit, I mean just barely enough that you can see it. Bend the wire down towards the pliers and then straight out towards the tip. Just like that. I'm going to do that again. Bend down and straight out. And make any adjustments as I go along the way. Down and out towards the tip. Okay. And just keep on doing that until you have your little square. Your little square spiral. Bend and across. There we go. Bend and across. And it's starting to bump into things, so I'm going to scoot it back to the tip. So now I only have the tip of my pliers to deal with. And scoot that over. And then turn that out like little ballerina feet. Turn that out to the side. And I think, let's see here. That goes that way. That goes that way. And I'm going to do a couple more because I want it a little closer to the bead. Okay, so bend that down and across. Now it's hugging that bead. Very good. The other one's going to be a little higher up, but that's fine. Bend it down. That's why I said asymmetrical. Asymmetrical works. And there we go. There's my little link. And then just straighten it out the way you want it to look. There we go. Keep that up a little bit. Until they're even. There. And again, this is a very, very organic piece. So it's not going to be a perfect looking thing if there's any definition of perfection. but I do want my little feet over here to be side by side. I don't know why I keep calling them ballerina feet, but that's what they look like to me. That's what they remind me of. Okay, get those adjusted. And there we go. There's our little link. And this is going to hook onto something, as you're going to see in a minute. But there we go. Isn't that cute? Let's make another one. Okay. Grab my little 6 inches, my pliers right here on the tip of my pliers with the tip of my wire. Check to make sure nothing's sticking out. And put a bend in. Now, get that bend. Now, you can scoot it back. You can make your spiral bigger if you want. The first little center hole bigger if you want to, and that'll make your spiral bigger. It's entirely up to you. This is just the way I'm doing it. Next one in right here on the tip. Make my little bend. Okay. Next one in. Make my little bend. Nice. Hold on to the flat part, a little bit sticking out at the bottom, bend straight down against my pliers, and then straight out towards the tip. Let's do that again. Straight down and out to the tip. Nice. Down and to the tip. And I'm going to keep on going until I have it the size that I want. You know what I forgot to do? Doggone it, Virginia, you forgot to put, see, this is what I do when I don't have to put a bead on. And I'm just making one like this, like I did on my other bracelet. But I have beads to put on. I can't do this. Virginia. Let me see, is there any way to remedy that? Actually, there is. Let's see here. I can put that on and then go ahead and find the spot later. I could do that, but that would be an absolute pain in the neck. I'd rather just fix it. I'm just going to have to start over. Actually, I don't have to do that. I could go ahead and measure my little 3 inches here. I think I can manage it. Let's try it. Let's try a little damage control and see if it works. I am not 100% sure that this will work, but I'm going to give it a shot. So here's where I would put my little keyhole. Let's try it. So I'm going to go slide my wire down about halfway, fold my wire over. Now I somehow need to get this in my wire. That's where the challenge is going to come in. Let's see if I can do it, shall we? Let's see if I can feed it in there without too much of a hassle. Okay, now it's in. So let's see if I can get it nicely straightened out. Ooh, troubleshooting. I like it. Straighten that out. Okay, it's in there. Yes. This is going to have to turn that away. Make my little keyhole. I can't believe I'm doing this. Okay, let's make my little keyhole. I'm going to slide down halfway down my pliers. And I'm going to squeeze this with my fingers until I have my little keyhole. And then I'm going to bring my other pliers in. And I'm going to squeeze it the rest of the way. Right there under my round nose pliers. Give it a squeeze and a jiggle. And there is my keyhole. Make my little adjustments. All right, let's bring it up there and measure. Nothing like doing it backwards, is it? Measure my 7/8 of an inch from the top of my loop to my bead. Okay. Bend it over my bead, right there at the top, and down the back. All right. Looks like it's going to work. I have to twist this around the way it needs to go. Let me straighten that out a little bit. I don't need it to be too straight because I'm about to bend it up again anyway. Okay, you are over here, so you need to be going this away. Good. And this one's going to be going this way. Perfect. Oh my gosh. I can't believe that worked, but it did. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and squeeze my little loop down here towards my wire. Just squeeze it. It's like I did the other one. There we go. And let's finish what we started. Oh, goodness gracious. All right. So I'm going to go over here to the other one and start this. I think if I don't have this to bump into, it might be a little easier. Let's try that. So I've started this one. It's not finished. I'm going to finish it in a minute, but I'm going to go ahead and start on my second one. I'm going to turn this fan on because it's 90 degrees and I'm melting like the Wicked Witch of the West. Okay, let's bend this down. Got it on the tip here, tip of my wire, with the tip of my pliers, and bend. Okay. Okay, let's give myself another little bend. Got 2/3 of my square there. That nicely. There we go. And let's bend the other one. Okay. All right. And then go to the flat part of my loop, bend it down and across. Nice square there. And again, bending down, just a little tiny bit of it peeking out. Bend down and across. And again, down and across. And I think this is about where I discovered my boobit. And down and across. Now, yeah, this is about where I discovered that I had made a little bit of an error. So let's go ahead and do the next bend. Push that over a little bit. Down and across. And again, down and across. Make my little adjustments. That could be a little closer. There we go. And down. Oh, I think that's a little too far up, too much sticking out at the bottom. Okay, there we go. Down and across. Get over there. All right, let's go to the other one because I think that's about as far as I can go with this guy. My fan is blowing my paper off of the desk. I had a little note there to myself. Okay, there we go. Let's do the other one. This should be here. There we go. You should be over there. And you should be over here. All right. A little bit sticking out the bottom here. Down and across. Down and across. Okay. Down and across. Got to use the tip because it's starting to bump into things. Let's flip that around. Okay, there we go. Get everything straightened out. Can I get one more bend in? It's going to be close. I'm going to try it. Let's get one more bend. It's going to be tight. Bumping right up against that bead. I think I'm going to adjust this a little bit and see if I can scooch that up. I'm going to make this little adjustment. So I'm going to make this a little bit shorter so I can see if I can get this one more little spiral in. So I'm going to push my bead up and tuck this little spiral in under there. There we go. Okay. And then push it back down. Sometimes you have to make adjustments. Okay, I'm going to twist my little legs until they're side by side the way I want them. And there's my little link. There they are. Aren't they cute? Nice. Nice little links. And now you're probably going, what the heck are we going to do with those? Well, you'll see in a minute. Let's just put those to the side for the moment. Now we're going to make our next link. And I have to credit this link to Samantha Latimer. That's my little note that the fan keeps blowing on the floor. I have to credit this link to Samantha Latimer. If you've never seen any of her tutorials, she's wonderful. And she had this pretty link that we're going to make that I just kind of adjusted and embellished a little bit and made into a hook. I added a hook to it. And I told her about it and she thought it was really neat. So I wanted to make sure that you know where this idea originated. And you know me, I'm always taking something and just kind of flipping it around and making it into something else. And I love hooks. And if I can have a link that doubles as a hook, I am a very happy, happy camper. So now I'm going to make our next link, which is called, what did she call it? She called it a, oh gosh, was it butterfly link? No, it's something else. It's a swan spiral link. That's what we're going to make. So that's going to start again with the tip of my 5 inches. Sorry, 5 inches of wire is what you need for this spiral. So I'm going to need the tip of my pliers with the tip of my wire, just like I started with the square ones, but I'm now using the round ones. I'm going to make a tiny little loop right here on the tip. So I'm just going to rotate that around. And you're going to have to really kind of fight with it a little bit because round wire and round pliers, sometimes they fight with each other. So I'm going to rotate that around until I have a little loop. So there's my little loop. And now I'm going to continue to wrap the wire around itself. Until I have a little a little start of a spiral. So then I'm going to grab my square pliers and hold on to the face or the flat part of my spiral. And I'm going to start wrapping the wire around the already rolled wire. So I'm just small little turns. There's no rush. Try not to do this, because if you do, you're going to end up with a mess. So you just want to give it little turns so that you can get a nice closed spiral. And for the size that I want, which is going to be, this is going to be about 1/2 inch from the tip to the loop part, not the hook part, but from the tip to the loop, it's about 1/2 inch, but from the little V part to the hook, it's going to be also about 7/8 of an inch, like the other one that we just did. So I'm going to keep wrapping until I have 3 complete loops. And I have some already made, so I want to make sure that I match them up. 3 little loops around there. I'm just matching them. Okay, and I'm going to stop matching as closely as I can get. Good. And I'm going to stop when the long part of my wire is just across from the tip of the very first tip of my loop. So check it out again. Make sure it looks good. Four loops. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and okay. And this little part right here should be right across from my tip, right here at the tip. So there's the tip. There's the little end of my wire. That's where it's ending, right across from my little tip. Let me see if this will focus this close up. So there's my tip right here. And I'm stopping my turning right here. So it's right there across from the tip of my wire. So now I'm going to go ahead and grab my square pliers. And I'm going to put that right up against the loop, the top of my loop. Just right up against the top of that loop. Just like that. Okay, and then I'm going to bend my wire over the top of my pliers until it's flat against the top of my pliers. No further than that. If you go further around, then it's going to go over this rounded part, and you don't want that. I just want it to lay against the top of my pliers, and I'm going to take it away, and I have a nice little bend. Just like that. And then I'm going to finish the bend with my fingers. I'm just going to squeeze it in. As a matter of fact, I'm looking at this. I didn't have it as far down as I should. No, yes, I did. I could go a little further back, just so I have a deeper bend. And I'm going to bend it over my pliers and then finish it the rest of the way with my fingers. until I have a nice little V at the bottom here. So this is what I have so far. And then I'm going to continue around the top of my little spiral. I'm just going to do that with my fingers. Just bring it around nice and slow so you can get a nice round frame here at the top. And then I'm going to, once I've got it around there, I'm going to find the center. And just right here in the center of my loop, I'm going to bend this wire straight up. Now, if you don't want to use your fingernails, you can use your pliers to bend it. It's entirely up to you. I just think it's a little easier to gauge the center if I just use my fingernail. Just bend that straight up. And that's what I have. And then I need 1 inch from the bend here to the top. Just 1 inch of wire. I'm going to snip that off, that little tail that I don't need. Okay. And then I'm going to make a loop at the top. Make sure it's just 1 inch because that's all I need. Okay. I like my loop to go in the direction of away from where it's wrapped. It doesn't matter, but that's just what I do. Okay, so I'm going to make a small little loop. I'm just going to slide it about 1/8 of an inch down my pliers and make a little loop at the top. Just rotate until you have a loop. And then I'm going to, I don't want it to be a little P. You aren't going to be able to see it, but I like it to be straight up. So I'm going to go right here, just above the tip, and I'm going to bend it back until it looks like a little lollipop here on top. Nice straight edge of my wire running through the center of my loop. So that's what I have. And then I'm going to take my round pliers about 1/8 of an inch above the bend in my wire. Slide my wire down also about 1/8 of an inch. And I'm going to bring that wire over the top of my pliers and down to the back of my little spiral. Just like so. So now I have a little hook. See where we're going with this? We have books galore. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my square pliers and push that wire down. I'm going to squeeze it right under my round pliers until I have another little keyhole. Neat, huh? And then this is obviously going to hook into this, but we're not finished. I'm going to do another one of this. Let's do one more of these guys. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my round nose pliers again. Grab the tip of my wire with the tip of my pliers. Nothing sticking out the back. And make a small loop. Just give it a small turn. And then take my pliers out. Give it another small turn. Now, I think, no, this one's good. I was going to say sometimes it ends up being more of a pear shape and you can cut it off to make it round, but this one came out round, so I can't show you how to troubleshoot. Yeah, that's okay. All right, so I'm just going to keep going around until I can't go any further without bumping into the pliers. There we go. Now I'm going to switch to my square pliers. Push that up a little tighter. And I'm going to start my nice closed spiral. Okay, and again, you're just making little small turns. And what you can do with this, if you notice that it's got little nicks and things in it, hammer it. You can hammer it and just make that part of your design. I really find that it's nice if you're able to make things that are a little bit more organic. You don't have to worry so much about it being perfect, because it's art and it's not supposed to be perfect. So that's my thinking. Okay, let me make sure I've got enough here. 1, 2, 3. I think I do. Let's match it up with my other one. Very nice. Yes. And I'm ending this right across from my little tip again. There's the tip. There's the end of my wrap. Grab my square pliers. Have it butt right up against the top of my spiral. Bring that over just a bit. Right there against the top of my spiral. Like so. And I'm going to bend that wire over my pliers and stop when it's resting on top. Just stop right there. Don't go any further. If I go over this part, I'm going to end up with a rounded side, and I don't want a rounded side. Now I'm going to go ahead and finish pushing it over towards the spiral with my fingers. And there's my little V, just like the other one. Then I'm going to bring it around the top of my spiral with my fingers. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, and then make my little bend at the top here. Very nice. And then measure an inch. An inch takes it back to just below my little center. If you want it right in the center, which is fine, you can take it down to about 7/8 of an inch, and that would be fine too. I just like that. I like the long tail on it, because when I'm making it into a hook, I want to make sure that there's enough there that it won't slide out of its hook position. Okay, so now I'm going to make my loop, slide down about 1/4 of an inch or so. It really doesn't need to be much, 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch to make my little loop. Just rotate a little bit, a few times to make my little loop, then go back in right here at the tip and rotate back to get a loop on top of my wire. If I were to run this wire all the way through it, it would run right up the center of my loop. And that's what I want. Okay. And then on this, you can decide which is the front and the back, and then take your pliers and right here about 1/8 of an inch, 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch. Again, that's your preference. Just over the top of the, it needs to be a little straighter. There we go. Just over the spiral. Hold on to it with my tip just a little further down than just the tip, about 1/8 of an inch over, because I need enough space for something to rest in there. So about 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch, depending on how big you want your hook to be. Bring that over the top of my pliers and down the back of my spiral, like so. And take my pliers back in there, grab my square pliers, and squeeze that down against the back there. And there we go. This is a little lower than my spiral, so I'm going to make that adjustment. I'm going to bring it up just a little bit. So now it's resting right here at the bottom instead of below my spiral. There we go. And there's my little hook. And now it's time to put everything together. Yay! I have got this already started. So now we just need to put the pieces together and we will have a bracelet. See, that's the way it's going to look. Yay! All right, now I'm missing one. There it is. So this is going to hook in here, but you have to hook this one in first because this is going to hook right in here. So I'm going to take the back of my keyhole and string it through the front of my little triangle here. So I'm going to string that through the front. This is the back. This is the front. I'm going to push it through the front. And let it slide up. I'm going to open this up a little bit. I can push it back down after. Slide that in there, like so. And then this slides in the keyhole. So the keyhole slides into the bottom of the round spiral, and then the round spiral slides into the keyhole. So you have, that's the way you have to do it. The keyhole goes into the triangle first. Open that up. So it's not quite so tight. This is the front. That's the back. Slide that keyhole into the little triangle, or the triangle, I guess, into the little keyhole. Slide that up there. Push the keyhole down. And then slide the other triangle into the keyhole. So there's my little triangle. Back of the triangle goes in through the front of the keyhole. There we go. And that's why I said this little loop does not need to be too big because it's going to have to fit down in this little keyhole. So you don't need it to be too big because you want everything to link together. Make sure everything's going the right way. It is. And there it is, ladies and gents. There's our little bracelet. Measure it, make sure it's big enough. Yes. Now, if you notice, I went straight across with my colors. Now, normally I would be one of those people that goes, okay, this is the center, two blue ones on this side, two pink ones on this side. But that would have meant, two pink ones on this side, two blue ones on this side. But that would have meant both of my blue ones would be on the bottom of my bracelet. And I really want to see them. I don't want to miss any of these beautiful colors. Now, how, you ask, do you hook this? See, we don't even need a hook because we have a built-in one. So this little hook hooks into my triangle. Just slide that into the triangle, push that closed, and there we have it. There's our bracelet. Oh, I love it. Isn't that awesome? I love it. It's so ornate looking. It looks so much harder to do than it is. This is awesome. What do you think? Oh, I love looking at it under the camera and it's so beautiful. I've got to put it on. Let me put it on. So again, this little hook here, this is why I like mine really long because it's going to provide, it's going to be my hook. I want to make sure that it's secure and it's not going to slide out. And it can't really because it's got this little thing that's going to keep it from sliding out. Let's put it on. Let's put it on. Put it on me. Put it on me. Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Everybody, look at that. That is so beautiful. If my arm had been smaller, I wouldn't have even needed both of these. I could have hooked this directly into this one. But me and my big 7.5 inch normal sized arm, that's okay. I love everything about this. Oh, and I hope that you will too, because I am just absolutely loving it. Gorgeous. Oh my goodness. It's so beautiful. That's it. That's our program. You're going to see these links again. I can't help it. They are so beautiful. And Samantha, thank you so much for giving me this wonderful idea of this link. I absolutely adore it. And you're going to see it again because I already mapped out a pretty beachy adjustable necklace that I'm so excited about. This is going to be so much fun. In addition to this lovely, little lovely, we're going to have a necklace. I'm going to give you a little preview. I'm not going to show it to you, but I'm going to give you a preview. We're going to have a little necklace that is completely adjustable. It's going to be in segments. You can take the segments apart. You can make it nice and long enough to go over your head. And then if you want it to, you can take a couple of the segments off and make it shorter. You can dangle it. You can make parts of it in, you can take parts of it apart and make it into a bracelet with a matching necklace. You can put it on some ear wires and you can make earrings. It's going to be so neat. But anyway, that's next time. I was going to do it this time. It's all done and ready to go. But I had already done a necklace. I said, oh, I can't do 2 necklaces in a row. I already did 2 bracelets in a row. So let's break it up. So we get a bracelet, beautiful. Off to Greece we go. I love it. And next time we're going to have a necklace that's going to take us to Lithuania as well as other places. So anyway, we are in travel mode. We have to be. It's summer. We have to go places. Just got back from the beach. Got to go other places. Anyway, sorry. I'm a little giddy right now. I don't know why. I hope you enjoyed this and I hope you'll come back. I hope I haven't scared you away. Please get in touch with me at jewelrygen20@gmail.com and let me know how you like this, or if you like this, or if you didn't like this and why. I would love to know. Please leave comments on the Facebook page of the library, which is facebook.com/DeKalb Library. That's DeKalblibrary, or the YouTube page, which is youtube.com/DeKalb Library, DeKalblibrary, or you can get in touch with me at jewelrygen20@gmail.com. That's JEWELRYGIN20@gmail.com. Please, 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 please let me know what you think. I would love to know your thoughts. And I would love to see your pictures. Please show me. You don't have to use the cubes. You can, you don't have to. But I just want to see what you make. I want to see your creations. So until next time, have a great week. Enjoy your weekend, and we will see you later. Bye-bye.